Hi, my name is Lisa Bracken. I help families find educational solutions for their kids. And like many of you, my family has been working, juggling homeschooling, work at home, social distancing, and it's been a crazy month or 2.5 months. And recently I read a survey that said that as many as 40% of families are now considering homeschool that weren't before. This was a survey from Real Opinion Surveys, I believe, and they surveyed over 2,000 registered voters who who showed that they were considering homeschooling whenever they were not before. So I figured that this was worthy of addressing. I do not think that this is necessarily a survey that shows what the entirety of the United States is considering, but rather a subset of that particular survey was able to have respond to their poll. That said, a smaller survey done in our local area demonstrated very similar results. Which makes me think that there are many of you out there who are looking at the next school year and trying to weigh options as to whether your child should possibly go back to a brick and mortar school, whether they should stay home, what types of homeschooling options there are. And so I wanted to kind of address a few of those things. First, depending on what state you're in, you have different rules and regulations to follow. I live in Texas, where there are very few rules and regulations. You basically have to provide legitimate curriculum and make sure you raise good citizens along the side. But other states, such as Florida, require that you have your curriculum approved by a certified teacher. So my recommendation for any of you, no matter what state you're in the United States, that you go to hlsda.org/legal to find out what the regulations are for your particular state. No matter what state, you should be able to homeschool your child. Now, I wanted to also discuss what homeschooling looks like. Because in a prior video I mentioned that homeschool was not something you did all day. Usually families homeschool for 2 to 3 hours at a time, and depending on the state, there's a lot of flexibility in regards to curriculum. There's actually a really excellent industry that creates homeschool curriculum for 1 or 2 kids at a time. And it's very individualized, and you can find and oftentimes almost get overwhelmed by the different options if you go on, say, Google and you look up homeschool curriculum. So here are some recommendations that I have. First, if you're new to it, you can look and go, okay, is my kid really the type of kid that would benefit from online homeschooling? Now, many of you have been doing some type of online work with a teacher for the past couple of months, and you may have an idea as to whether this is an option. If it is, that's fantastic, because there are even online public schools that you might be able to look in, and private schools. So your child can actually go to a school, attend a school, and also work from home. At the same time, there are many kids who really didn't do well with the online environment and need something that's more paper and pencil, hands-on activities. And so if you're just starting out, you might want to look at a complete box set company. Okay, my favorite is Timberdoodle, because I find that they collect together kits, homeschool curriculum kits, that you can then customize, and they give you kind of a scope and sequence to follow, so that way you know where your child's supposed to be at any particular time, based on the workbooks and activities and curriculum that they send you in your box set. Okay, but there are others. Moving Beyond the Page is wonderful for kids who have a wide range of abilities, and so they don't necessarily do grades as much as they do age ranges. And it's all based on literature, and there's a lot of science and hands-on activities and books that you can follow from day to day, which I find is wonderful. Sunlight is another one that is a Christian-focused curriculum, as well as Bob Jones. Sunlight is really good because it's heavily literature-based, and it really kind of looks at the classics. Bob Jones is, if you're something and you're wanting something that is, heavily conservative and Christian, that's what you can do there. But either way, box sets are great. But for some families, that's not the best option. And so if you're looking for something that's completely individualized for your child, you can do a lot of Google searches, and that's great. There are a lot of different options out there, but you can also reach out to your homeschool community. You can reach out to people like me who kind of focus on supporting families who are homeschooled, to help them to be able to organize their curriculum and find what's best for their child. There are pretty much in every state and every community groups of families who connect together that homeschool, and they do field trips and other things like that. And so there are options in regards to social interaction as well. The main thing is that you're not alone in this process. I am really enjoy connecting with families who are homeschooling their children. And there, like I said, there are other people out there too. And you have options. So again, hlsda.org/legal to find out the rules and regulations for your state. If you're still uncomfortable, look at online, look at box sets, or look at individualized pieces of curriculum for your child, and reach out to the community. If you want to reach out to me, my website is www.lisabracken.com. Bracken is spelled Brackin. I would love to speak with you, or set up a Zoom call and just kind of go over the options. Again, thank you very much, and I know that this has been a wild ride for a lot of people, but at the same time, I also know that for some of us, it has given us a different chance to look at things from a different perspective, and some of that different perspective may be the way we want to educate our child, and who knows, maybe I can help you through that journey. Thanks.